They say the pyramids were tombs. But here's the problem. No bodies, no markings, no purpose. Just millions of tons of stone, carved and aligned with a precision we still can't explain.
Really makes no sense.
It would make no sense at all.
Thousands of years, the Great Pyramid has defied logic. And it's not alone. Around the world, ancient civilizations built massive structures, all aligned with powerful electromagnetic hotspots. Coincidence? Or were they part of something much bigger?
Think about it.
Over a century ago, Nikola Tesla tried to build a wireless energy system, one that sounds eerily similar to what the ancients may have already created. Tesla believed the Earth itself could transmit power. No wires, no fuel, no meters. And just as he was about to prove it, his funding vanished. His tower was torn down. His work disappeared into the vaults of history. But halfway across the world, a structure was already standing, one that might have done what Tesla only dreamed of. And in March 2025, that structure may have answered back with a discovery that shook the world. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. For thousands of years, the Great Pyramid has stood in silence. No markings, no explanations, just a giant, impossible structure, sitting there, daring us to figure it out. But maybe we already have, because the deeper we look, the more it resembles a machine rather than a monument. And if that's true, then we might be looking at the oldest power plant in history. Let's get one thing straight. The Great Pyramid wasn't just thrown together. It was built with a level of precision that defies logic. It's aligned to true north with an accuracy of 1/15th of a degree, something only modern satellites and lasers can achieve. Its base is perfectly level, with less than an inch of variation across 13 acres. The height and base measurements encode the exact dimensions of Earth. And here's where things get even stranger. Because the pyramid isn't just mathematically perfect, it's electrically active. For an ancient civilization, the Egyptians had an unusual understanding of materials. They didn't just use whatever stone was available, they selected materials that, when combined, create an electrical effect. Outer casing stones, originally covered in polished white limestone, a natural insulator. Inner chambers, built with rose granite, which contains quartz, a material that generates piezoelectric energy when placed under stress. The entire structure sits on an underground aquifer, a moving water source that can create an electromagnetic charge. That's not a coincidence. That's an energy system.
Think about this.
Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was built on the same principle. It sat on an aquifer, used non-conductive materials on the outside, conductive materials inside. Identical concepts. But Tesla wasn't working with ancient blueprints. He wasn't tapping into a global archive of forbidden archaeology. He was working with nothing. No internet, no leaked documents, no ancient scrolls, just pure genius, a chalkboard, and a mind that may have seemed to be channeling 4,000-year-old insights while being ahead of his time. The difference? One structure was destroyed in the 1900s. The other has been standing for over 4,000 years. If the pyramid was a power generator, then how was the energy transmitted? Well, something is missing. At the top of the pyramid, there was once a capstone, but today, it's gone. Some theories suggest it was made of gold, a nearly perfect electrical conductor. If that's true, then the pyramid would have worked like a Tesla coil, with the capstone acting as a high-voltage discharge point. Water below the pyramid generates electrical charge. Quartz inside amplifies the charge. Gold capstone releases the energy into the atmosphere. And here's the craziest part. Modern researchers found evidence of electromagnetic energy concentrating at the top of the pyramid, exactly where the capstone would have been. Did someone remove it on purpose, or did it serve its function until the power grid went offline? Because if this was truly part of a power grid, it wouldn't have been the only one. And this wasn't the only sign that the ancient world might have understood electricity. Ancient Egypt is often imagined as a civilization lit by fire and torches. But there's a problem. Many of Egypt's most famous temples and tombs are completely enclosed. There are no windows, no sources of natural light, and yet there's no soot buildup on the ceilings. If torches were used to light these structures, where's the smoke damage? How were they illuminating these vast underground chambers? Some researchers point to an unusual carving found in the Temple of Hathor at Dendera. It's known as the Dendera light bulb. The image shows a giant, glass-like enclosure with a serpent-like filament inside, almost identical to a modern high-voltage electrical bulb. Some believe this carving represents an ancient lighting device, but it's not the only strange electrical anomaly from the past. In Iraq, archaeologists uncovered a 2,000-year-old artifact known as the Baghdad Battery, a clay jar containing a copper cylinder, an iron rod, and traces of an acidic substance. When reconstructed, this device produces a small electric charge. It's a working battery. Could the ancient world have understood electricity long before modern science? And if they did, was the Great Pyramid more than just a power generator, maybe a part of a global energy grid? So what if the Great Pyramid of Giza was transmitting energy? That still leaves a major question. What was it powering? Because energy doesn't exist in a vacuum. If the pyramid was truly a generator, it had to be supplying power to something. And if that's the case, then where did the technology go? Or was it erased? Just like Tesla's work thousands of years later. We know that Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was designed to send electricity wirelessly, without the need for cables or power lines. And if the pyramid worked on the same principles, then ancient Egypt may have had a wireless energy system thousands of years before modern science. The big question is, how was the energy received? Because a power plant doesn't work alone, it needs a network of receivers. That's where Egypt's obelisks come in. Obelisks, the towering stone monuments found all over Egypt, were often made of solid granite, a material rich in quartz, just like the pyramid's inner chambers. Many were topped with gold or electrum, two highly conductive metals. Some researchers believe these obelisks may have functioned as receivers for the pyramid's transmitted energy. If that's true, then imagine this. The Great Pyramid generates power. The obelisks capture and distribute it throughout the kingdom. Egyptians have wireless electricity running through their cities, lighting homes, powering tools, and possibly driving advanced machinery that we can't even imagine. Sounds crazy? Not if you look at other ancient cultures. Because Egypt wasn't the only civilization with strange stone towers and unexplained electrical knowledge. All over the world, we find massive stone structures that don't seem to serve a traditional purpose, and many of them are positioned along telluric energy lines, the same kind of electromagnetic hotspots where Tesla believed power could be harvested. Here are three major examples. High in the Andes, Machu Picchu was built on quartz-heavy bedrock. The entire city was engineered with no mortar, just massive stones fitted together with precision. The structures may have been designed to channel Earth's natural energy. Like the Great Pyramid, there is no soot buildup anywhere, suggesting an alternative light source. The Temple of Kukulkan in Chichen Itza was built with limestone casing, the same material used in Egypt. The top of the temple resonates when you clap, suggesting it was designed to amplify sound waves, or possibly energy waves. Many Mayan pyramids lack capstones, just like the Great Pyramid. The temple complex in Cambodia sits on quartz-rich sandstone and is positioned to align with cosmic cycles. The entire structure was engineered to resonate at specific frequencies, just like a Tesla coil. Many believe Angkor Wat's purpose was not religious, but energetic. It's as if ancient civilizations worldwide were building different pieces of the same puzzle. All over the globe, we find engineering feats that shouldn't exist. And here's the kicker. All of these sites align perfectly with the Great Pyramid. We're not talking about isolated wonders. We're talking about a grid, a system, built by different civilizations, or maybe one that spanned continents. Because if we ever find similar underground resonators beneath other pyramids, like Teotihuacan, Tikal, or even those in Sudan and China, then maybe these cultures weren't isolated. Maybe they were connected, working together, sharing knowledge, and building something bigger, just like Tesla tried to do. For thousands of years, the Great Pyramid of Khafre, known in academic circles as Khefren, stood quietly in the shadow of its more famous sibling, Khufu. But in March 2025, that all changed. A team of scientists, led by Filippo Biondi, aerospace physicist and inventor of synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, and Corrado Malanga, former professor of organic chemistry at the University of Pisa, revealed something buried beneath Khefren that redefined everything we thought we knew about ancient Egypt. The findings were big to the extent it might be the greatest discovery made in a century. This wasn't another sealed chamber or dusty sarcophagus. This was something alive, electrically, geometrically, and mechanically. A 600-meter deep vertical structure, flanked by spiraling columns that look eerily similar to energy coils, tucked beneath a pyramid already towering 136 meters above ground. It wasn't just mysterious, it was impossible. Using synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, a technology developed by Biondi himself, they scanned deep beneath the Giza Plateau without drilling a single hole. They combined this with satellite-based SAR data from private aerospace companies, Capella Space and Umbra, paired with muon tomography, which maps dense structures by measuring the flow of cosmic particles. In other words, this wasn't just ground-penetrating radar. It was a high-resolution, 3D, full-volume X-ray of the pyramid and everything under it, and what it found might be the most important archaeological discovery of the century. At the eastern front of the Khafre Pyramid, which rises 136 meters high and spans 215 meters at its base, the SAR scans revealed something buried 600 meters to 1 kilometer beneath the surface. Let that sink in. We're not talking about a hidden room or a crypt. We're talking about an entire vertical structure extending deeper underground than the height of the pyramid above it. The scans revealed a central underground tower composed of 5 massive horizontal levels with a sloped ceiling, an architectural style never before seen in any Egyptian structure. Surrounding this central tower, 8 cylindrical shafts, arranged in 2 parallel rows, each one resembling a coiled helix, spiraling down into the bedrock. The deeper they go, the more complex they become, until they terminate in 2 massive cubic chambers, with dimensions suggesting an extraordinary scale. What's the function of spiral towers made of conductive material, descending deep underground, connected to a central vertical shaft? That's not a tomb. That's a coil. That's a resonator. That's Tesla. The hidden technology buried in stone, or at least that's how it looks like so far. Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was designed around the exact same principles: a tall central resonator, subterranean structures that tapped into the Earth's natural vibrations, a system designed to amplify and transmit energy wirelessly through the ground and air. Now imagine Tesla's tower on steroids, buried under 600 meters of limestone and granite, connected to naturally vibrating aquifers and geoelectric hotspots. What we're looking at beneath Khafre isn't just a marvel of engineering, it's an energy system. But here's another surprise. This wasn't an isolated discovery. The same scans revealed interconnected underground structures beneath the Khufu and Menkaure pyramids as well, suggesting the entire Giza Plateau may have been part of a massive, coordinated system, a network, a grid. When you stand in front of the Khafre Pyramid, what you're seeing, the 136 meters of limestone, granite, and mystery, is just the tip.
Literally.
Because what lies beneath may be 3 to 4 times larger than what's above, an operational complex hidden beneath an ornamental shell. We've spent centuries marveling at the architecture, but it turns out we were only admiring the lid of the machine. And if the surface was built to impress, what's buried was built to function. Which begs the question, what kind of civilization needed 600-meter deep spiral towers? Why would anyone build a structure of that scale only to bury it? Unless that was the whole point, unless what powered the world didn't need to be seen, Because if this was a power plant, an ancient one, then we're looking at the control hub of a global energy grid. And Tesla? He wasn't building the future. He was rebuilding the past. If the ancients had a wireless energy system, then something had to bring it down, because a grid this vast doesn't just vanish. So what happened? There are three leading theories. Theory 1. A catastrophic event wiped it out. Something massive, cosmic, geological, or planetary interfered with the entire system. A solar flare, a comet impact, a pole shift, a flood. If the power grid relied on the Earth's electromagnetic field, then a sudden disruption could have short-circuited the entire network. And if that happened, it would explain why ancient structures across the world were suddenly abandoned. Theory 2. The civilization that built it disappeared. Some believe the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids at all, that they inherited them from a civilization that existed long before dynastic Egypt, a civilization advanced enough to build a global energy system. And when that civilization collapsed, whether through war, disaster, or time, so did the knowledge. The Egyptians may have repurposed the structures without ever knowing what they were truly for. Theory 3. The knowledge was suppressed. If this technology was rediscovered later, was it silenced? Just like Tesla? Someone must have pulled the plug, because free energy doesn't make money. And power, real power, doesn't come from electricity. It comes from control. And if history has taught us anything, it's that free energy doesn't build empires. But monopolizing it, that makes kings or pharaohs in that case. If you didn't subscribe yet, please hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up by clicking the like button. It really means a lot to us and helps keep this channel going.